Eat bold with Subway fiery footlong subs. So hot they'll burn the wimp right out of you. Try the new turkey jalapeno melt, a fiery twist on a legendary flavor. And the bold, delicious buffalo chicken, backed by popular demand. Subway. Eat fresh. The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The B.S. Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. I'm doing this by hotel phone. I'm in Washington, D.C. I am about to tape, pardon the interruption, for 4 days in a row. Hopefully I will still have a career by Friday. On the Subway Fresh Take hotline, as always, talking about the Week 3 Lions, our friend Cousin Sal. What's happening?
Yo, what's happening, Bill?
I don't know. I don't want to get pulled like Vince Young did. I don't want to get pulled mid-show. That's my only goal for today. What do you think?
With PTI?
Yeah.
You know what you do? Just if you get stuck or you can't read off the prompter, just say, "Let's move on. This is ridiculous. We have 12 topics to cover." Just keep doing that.
I'm going to try to do that. What was your take of last night? A lot of great gambling moments in the Saints-Niners game. Why don't you recap them for us?
Well, first of all, no one looked like they wanted to lose this week more than the Saints, right?
Yeah, they ran the most vanilla offense they possibly could, and they were basically trying to give away the game. And the Niners just wouldn't take it. Right. They refused.
In San Francisco, yeah, they turned the ball over in their own zone. They turned it over in the red zone. They were a mess themselves. And the spread was like between 5 and 5.5. The Saints were favored by, and I think they were up. What were they up? 22? No, what was
they were up 19-14.
19-14.
They had a first down on the 5-yard line, and they have arguably the best offense in the league. They run a terrible play into the line. They run another terrible play into the line, and then third and one, goal to go, fullback dive.
Yeah, garbage.
What the hell was that?
Garbage. Yeah.
Fullback dive.
Right.
So they go up 8, and at that point you just know that the Niners are going to charge down, and it's going to come down to the 2-point, but they're going to cover. And I'm watching it, and I'm in our West Coast Fantasy League with our pal Damashek. He has Garrett Hartley. I have Drew Brees. And I hate talking about fantasy teams because I think it's like talking about your holiday pictures, as I've said many times. But this is a good story. You guys are going to like this. We're just leapfrogging each other the whole night. I'm up by like 0.5 or something.
Yeah, you get 0.1 for every yard, and a quarterback gets 0.05 for every yard. So it's down to like the 10,000th point.
Yeah, but I'm leading as the Saints go up 8. I'm leading by like 0.45, I think.
Right.
So of course the Niners go down and they score. And then if they don't get the 2-point, now I'm in the position of if Drew Brees kneels, then that's like a negative 0.1, right?
Oh, yes, you're right.
And now I'm in danger of potentially losing, but thanks to kneel downs.
I never even thought of that.
So they get the 2-point. It's reviewed. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, now they're going to drive down and score. But Breeze is only going to get like 45 passing yards, so that'll be like 2.25. And then Damashek will get like a 45-yard field goal, and he'll beat me by 0.2.
Right.
So he goes all the way down, and then if you remember, it's like they get the big pass. It's like first down, goal to go from like the 20. And the way it works out is a field goal beats me. By some act of God, they decide to throw the ball on first down.
Yep.
Pick up the 5 yards, then they kick the field goal, and I beat Damashek by 0.15. My greatest fantasy win of all time, and I'm the one who pushed for decimals. Thank you.
By the way, 0.15 is also what Damashek blew driving home getting drunk after that game. Because he must have been beside himself.
I thought you were going to say that was his blood alcohol level at the draft.
That might have been it, too. But I was just thinking, I'm like, I need you to lose. You're my division. It would be great. You won last year. But it was still better for Damashek to lose.
Oh, it's so good.
It seems funnier.
What was really crazy was I go into the matchup, I'm only down 8 points.
And you have Breeze. He has.
I have Breeze. He has Garrett Hartley. That should be over. There's no way I should lose that. And then in my other league, I needed just like a half decent Breeze performance, which of course he didn't deliver, and I lost by 1 point. So it all evens out in fantasy. Yeah. But a terrible cover by the Niners. I just think you go up 9-0, and then they made the Niners punt, and it just seemed like at that point it was going to be like the Colts-Giants game. It seemed like it was going to be like a 38-3 type game, and they just let them hang around.
Let me throw something else in with odds-wise. The over-under was 44.
Yeah.
So it's 22-14, and and obviously if it ties, it's going to overtime. It's going over. Yeah, San Fran needs that 2-point conversion for it to go over. Now, you have to think people are betting the over-under in the Monday night game 10 times as much as any other game, maybe even more.
Yeah, you'd think.
And so it's one of the odds. It ends 22-22, landing on a tie, and then overtime 25.
Do you feel like the scores this year have been really weird? Like that Steelers game was 19-11.
Yeah,
it was first time ever, supposedly.
Yeah. We look up at halftime and see some 11s and 9s. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, let's do the Week 3 slate. But before we do, scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about the Cowboys in terms of just wanting to kill everybody in the team?
Oh, I'm still fully confident in this squad. I mean, this is
what
together. No.
What are you talking about?
I don't know where to look. As a fan, I just look up and I'm like, how are we the worst team in the league? And you can really make a case for it because you look at like the Lions and even the Raiders, and those teams score points. Like, how is this offense so loaded up? How do they not score? How do they struggle to bring in double digits going into the fourth quarter? And I look at the top. I'm sick of Wade Phillips. I'm sorry. He looks like a nice guy. Like, he should be running a hardware store. I'll buy lug nuts from him. I don't want him running my football team. It just doesn't make any sense at all. So
fair points. I did a power poll because starting Week 3, I think it's good to rank the teams just so when you're picking the spreads and when you're gambling and stuff to have a feel for. Sometimes you just don't realize that somebody is really the 5th worst team in the league, and you in your head they're not.
Yeah.
I had Dallas at number 21 right now.
Yeah.
I have them just ahead of Denver, San Fran, and Jacksonville. I think you look at those two games. Washington, I think, is a pretty good team. I think we've at least learned that over the last 2 weeks. And I think we just all underestimated the Bears. They can throw the ball and they can play a little bit of defense. I don't think they're terrible.
The Bears could end up having 9 wins, too. I was trying to calm myself down from like, maybe the Bears aren't bad. But I also try to do a power poll, and I feel like there are 4 good teams, and then everyone else could suck or be great or right in the middle. Like the rest could be all 8-8.
I'm curious. Who are your 4 teams?
All right, Green Bay, I think, is right on top.
Yep.
Houston.
Yep.
You're not going to like this, but I put Baltimore up there.
What?
I think they do enough. I think they know what they're doing. I think Flacco is going to be better. I think they didn't play defenses that they were going to allow them to do well.
Wow, I disagree with that one, but keep going.
And I put New Orleans up there as 4, and maybe Pittsburgh. I mean, they don't score too much, but they have the giant asterisk by there where they have quarterbacks getting injured in there.
I have it Green Bay, Houston, New Orleans, Indy. And then I have Pittsburgh at 5, and I think when Roethlisberger comes back, they just move right in. I think they're back. The defense
Miami
is back.
In there? No Miami?
Then I have, the next group, San Diego, Atlanta, Miami, Baltimore, the Jets, Philly, New England. We don't know what to make of those teams yet. I think it's too early.
You can't put Indy in your top 4. I know you owe the Colts fans an apology, but you can't just put them in your top 4 after that.
Well, I think at the very least they proved that, how bad they looked in Week 1 might have been more of a result of the Texans are just good offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Texans look like they're the best offensive team in the league, and thinking back to that, I wrote it in that column. Like, the Colts, if Collie doesn't fumble that ball, it's 2017. And that was, if you were saying that the Colts weren't done yet, that's what you point to and say, oh no, we were right in that game. We gave them the game.
Yeah.
I just thought, that was about as dominant of a performance as you're going to have on a Sunday night game. That game was over in a minute and a half.
That's what I want the Cowboys to do. Like, everyone tells you all week after you lose that you suck, and then just go out there and score on the first drive, like when you're home and shut everybody up. But
well, you have some issues. I think, I hate to say this, your son's middle name is Romo, but I think we really just have to start looking at the fact that he might not be that good.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. I think he's a little above average, but I don't know if I can give him more than that.
All right. Well, if you'll admit the same for Tom Brady, I'll sign off.
Well, listen, I'm not ready to talk about Brady's performance, his look, anything. I can't talk about it.
Romo makes it like one dumb play a game, I would say. That's still up there. But it does seem like every tip ball lands in the defender's hands, and that doesn't happen for us necessarily.
Well, you have... I mean, I think the one thing is that Dez looks like he's legit.
Yeah.
And so Romo has two legitimate wide receivers who you have to worry about, and it just seems like their offense should be better. The one thing I don't get is...
When do you fire Jason Garrett? Like, if Dez Bryant's the real deal, then you got talent all over the place on the offense.
Well, but I wonder about the running backs. I mean, maybe those guys are all just mediocre. And who told Felix Jones to put on 25 pounds? He looks slow now.
Pounds. He can't break anything better than a 6-yard run. He's like Oprah when she gained the weight. The book clubs aren't what they used to be. He's not doing anything.
I don't think it was a good idea. All right, let's hit the.
Let's do it.
Let's hit the week 3, and actually your Cowboys. Let's just start with them. They play at Houston, which is going to be. I think your season's over if you lose that game, right?
Well. I'm the one that said our second preseason game was a must-win, and now everyone laughed at me, and now it's this, and
right.
We have a bye next week. If Wade Phillips has anything in him, any kind of inspirational speech to give, don't save it. And what do you think? What are you going for the line?
Well, before I say the line, he gets fired if they lose this game, right? They have to fire him. They have a bye week after 0-3. I don't see how he comes out of that bye week with a job.
It's all if you believe Jerry Jones or not. And why wouldn't you trust that man? I mean, he says he sticks by Phillips, and it does seem – I don't know who you put in there, though. Like, they have this D. Camillus. Like, they could put, like, an assistant in there. But
my only thing with your team is that, and I really felt this way, I watched both games, I just thought they looked sloppy. Like, they don't look sharp. They don't look like they practiced. They don't look like they had a preseason. They just don't look crisp.
Well,
agree?
I agree, and like their practices are apparently abysmal. And like I was talking to my buddy, Cowboys fan, who's reading that their Tuesday and Wednesday practice was so bad. Keith Brooking called the team meeting and said, "Hey, that was awful. Those are two of the worst practices I've ever seen." And then Wade Phillips was interviewed afterwards, and he said, "Well, it's good that Keith is being a team leader, but it really is hot out there."
Ah, Jesus!
What is going on?
I'm going to say this line should be Texans by 4.5 or 5, but Dallas keeps getting respect from Vegas for some reason, so I'm going to say Texans by 4.
All right. The silver lining is that I picked this line exactly, and it's Texans by 3. And
wow, I'm shocked by that. Why?
It's absolutely a must-win for the Cowboys. They have a bye next week, so like you said, if they're 0-3 into the bye, it's over. So I guess that's a point or two. But Houston is better.
I mean, that line insinuates that the game doesn't mean anything to Houston.
Yeah,
this is a battle of the Texas teams. Like, nothing would make them happier than ending Dallas' season.
Well, they won last week. They played almost a full extra quarter. Maybe they're tired. I'm really just trying to make excuses in my head. Houston's better. San Fran at KC.
KC really lucked out with the schedule, huh?
This is what gets me crazy, right? Like the Chiefs or the Bucs are going to be 3-0 probably after this week. And if they're both 3-0, I don't want to be anywhere near Chris Berman. Either way, I don't want to be near him.
I'm going to say Chiefs by 2.5.
Yeah, I had Chiefs by 1.5, and I saw this morning it's a pick.
Ooh.
So I get that.
Can't say I agree with that one.
San Fran's 0-2. It's weird, 0-2 versus 2-0. It's a pick at home.
Here's the thing. I mean, in week 1 in Seattle, they had all those troubles with the play calling and getting the plays in, and here the crowd was too loud. They couldn't hear it. Like, that's only getting worse at Arrowhead.
Yeah, it's true. Well, Singletary, he did a nice job running on the field. Have you ever seen a coach between the hash marks to throw a red flag for no reason?
Yeah, it was good. Unfortunately, that was the highlight of his season so far.
Cincy at Carolina, so I get that one. I'm up 2-0.
Cincy at Carolina. I was not prepared for how bad Matt Moore is.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
I mean, their season's over. Like, they got spanked by Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, even though it's a must-win game for the Panthers, I'm going to say Bengals by 3.
You got it exactly. I said Bengals by 4. I don't know. Clausen might be the better starting quarterback in this game. How much do we hate Carson Palmer?
I know. We watched all the games together last Sunday, and Palmer somehow only has 1 interception for the season. And I've single-handedly, I've personally witnessed him throw 5 picks that got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just dropped. Not even like, wow, that would have been a good catch if he caught it. Like, just botched.
Yeah. He'd be a little laughing stock. If he was like a quarterback of the Rams, we'd be celebrating every down.
He's not. Well, at what point did they just throw his brother in and hope nobody notices?
Yeah, even his father. Anything. Tennessee at the Giants.
Now, what'd you take away from that Giants performance? Just not their night, or they might stink?
Both. I think both. They're one of those teams. I have no idea if they're good or bad. The Giants, right? I mean, how could you handicap that team?
Well, we learned. I definitely overrated them for week 2. I picked them to win in Indy because they were so convincing against Carolina. But now it turns out Carolina stinks. I mean, that's one of the 5 worst teams in the league. So maybe that wasn't so convincing. And then on the other hand, you have Vince Young, who was and this is something because there were some really terrible QB performances, but I think he was the number 1 worst.
Yeah, he might have been the worst. I mean, we call for backups all the time when we're watching the game, and then when they put him in, like, oh my God, Collins is in. This is crazy. It's happening. But is he going to start? I guess Young's going to start, right?
Yeah, you got to start him again. It's funny though. We have our friend Brad, who's just possessed by the devil, and he has that evil cackle that he does when a quarterback's terrible.
Yeah.
And every Collins throw, he was just cackling. Collins!
Yeah, he's 14 Red Bulls in. We're always hearing his Collins all day.
I have Giants by 3.5 in that one.
All right. You get this? I thought it would be higher. I said 5. It's 3.
Very fair line. The Giants might not be good.
We're knotted up at 2, and now it's your game. Buffalo at New England.
Oof.
And now we talk about your Patriots.
I actually struggled with this because I think the bar was set last week in Lambeau. The Bills cannot get less than 13 points against any team that can play half decently offensively.
Oh.
So,
but I mean, your team's going to score 30 or 40, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say Patriots by 13.5.
Oh man, you get it. I said 14. It's 13. That's a good call.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to talk about my team. I got to be honest. I will say this though, for a quarterback who's won us the only 3 Super Bowls that have ever been won by the New England Patriots, I'm getting a lot of angry Tom Brady emails.
Really?
The combo, he really didn't play well in that game, and he alligator-armed a couple throws, and then he's got the hair, and he's driving an Audi, and
yeah, people don't like that.
He's got the supermodel girlfriend, and then the press conference, he's like all dressed up, and it's not going over well back home.
Yeah, I just knew that was going to be a tough game for him, and I didn't want to write the Jets off. I'm telling you, the Ravens are good. Anyone that plays them, they're going to make them look like crap, and you just. Sanchez had something, like it seemed like he had a score to settle. You were like, that's it, the Jets are done. You asked me, what are the Patriots Super Bowl odds? I'm like, oh boy, I don't even have to watch this. It's going to be close.
I get a little carried away.
By the way, everyone in the AFC East except Buffalo is plus 175 to win the division. So.
Wow. I still stand by my that game was weird. Like, the Pats had a run in the first quarter, got called back, they dropped an interception. It was one of those games they weren't getting breaks, and then eventually the Jets got confidence. But I think they could have finished them off in that first half.
Yeah,
I didn't think the Jets looked confident at all. And then by the end of the third quarter, the Jets were like, oh, we can win this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, I don't know. The good news is you're playing the Bills this week, and I'm playing you with Welker and Moss. So
beautiful.
That's going to be fun. By the way, you should bet Joe Meade something. Like, he should host a podcast if somehow the Bills were to pull this off.
Yeah, the Bills are so sad that after the Patriots beat them, I'm not even going to taunt Joe Meade.
All right.
It's really sad. I feel bad for him.
Good for you, Joe. All right, so next game, Atlanta at New Orleans.
I mean, the Falcons just seem like they're going to be the good at home, lousy in the road team.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, this is a dome. That's good for them. I'm going to say Saints by 6.5.
That's exactly what I said, and you're going to be surprised. It's 4.5.
Wow.
It's low. This is an upset, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
the
what
Falcons
I saw
are
at
good.
Atlanta more last week than I've seen out of New Orleans in the last 2 weeks,
How about when we were watching the games the other day, I was like, oh, Chris Snelling, there's going to be a stampede for him this week. And our friend Powell casually goes, oh, yeah, he's on my team. I handcuffed him to Turner last round or something. Now he's going to have this guy who's going to rush for 1,300 yards this season.
Yeah, it's not fair. And by the way, you have the right idea with the waiver wire. Everyone took Jackson from Green Bay. There should be it should be money pooled for.
Well, we screwed up. That was supposed to be we went to an auction on our West Coast League. That was supposed to be one of the wrinkles was that it was a $100 to spend on free agents.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like Brandon Jackson, like somebody would have blown their entire free agent wad on him, and I'm not even sure he's going to be their starter in 3 weeks.
No, they're dying to bring a free agent in.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next game is Cleveland at Baltimore.
Seneca Wallace was who we thought he was.
Yeah.
This seems like my buddy Gus always calls these the how many points are they going to score games.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the Browns getting more than 10 points unless Josh Cribbs does something.
That's what it seems like. 9, yeah, like somewhere like 9 points, and
so that the Ravens have to get to like 20, and they're going to cover whatever spread this is. I'm going to guess Ravens by 11.
Oh, what happens? Oh, we split it. It's 10.5. I said 10.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that is fair. And this is the week everyone benches Flacco and he goes nuts.
I thought you were going to say this is the week I email you urging us to do a 3-team tease with the Ravens as the linchpin. I know I'm getting that email on Friday.
It's shaping up. Ravens, Patriots. Let's look for another 10.
Hey, buddy, we got to tell the audience we won our first tease of the year.
We did. I was a little apprehensive that we make fun of teasers all the time, and then you and I said, well, let's just put you said let's just put Green Bay on a theoretical teaser with a lot of money with someone else. And I said, I like Atlanta, and you said, I love Atlanta, too. Let's do it.
Well, and as always with the 2-team teasers, we would have won both bets outright anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works. That's how the 2-team teaser works. You never actually need the points if you win.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the third of a 3-team teaser, Detroit at Minnesota.
Oh. See, I think the Lions, I think they could finish Minnesota's season right here.
I actually agree. This is a fun team to watch.
The line is going to be a little bit too high. I'm going to say Vikings by 9.5.
You got me. I said 9, and it's 10.5.
Oh, they're dying for that's the 3-team screw job right there.
Yeah.
I think the Lions could win. Why couldn't they win? What's good about this Vikings team?
Hold on, the dog is going crazy. They must not like that pick. Hey, shut up there! I like Detroit too. Please, I'm with you. Like, let him bury Favre already. He's got no better way to end his career than the Lions.
Well, here's the thing with it, when you're getting a lot of points with an underdog like that. At least we know the Lions can get garbage points. We've seen them do it both weeks. They can go down 17 and score a 6-play, 80-yard drive and get the 2-point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like if you're down 18 with the Browns and it's just over.
Yeah.
With the Lions, they could easily just get the cheap touchdown, and that's what they did last week against Philly. So
that's true.
I trust them. I think it's going to be hard to blow them out.
All right. I will take them with the points. I actually don't think they upset them, but take them with the points. Pittsburgh at Tampa. I can't believe this is supposed to be close.
Did you see the Josh Freeman highlights? We weren't really watching that game.
Yeah. I saw the highlights. Let me just say, if Mike Williams gets free on a fly pattern for 75 yards against the Steelers defense that, hasn't given anything up, we're going to know the league is fixed. Here's
the thing with the Steelers, though. They haven't had to play from behind yet. Mm-hmm. And as long as they're ahead, they can just do the defense thing. I want to see what happens when they're down like 7-0. I don't know if it'll be this week. I'm going to say Steelers by 3.
You're killing me now. I said 4. It's 2.5.
It's fair. If you take them, you got Chad's batch on the road, potentially down 10-0. Who knows?
Are the Bucks going to be 3 full games ahead of the Cowboys for the wild card race after 3 weeks?
That would have been good for you.
Kidding me?
By the way, nobody is allowed to say, and who would have guessed this?
Yeah.
It happens every year.
Yeah, it is true. It's true. It's being made more of a big deal. But Washington at St. Louis. And so including ties, you're up 7-4 against me.
This game, oh man, I think the Reds. First of all, this is definitely in the Vegas zone. There's no question. I'm going to say Redskins by 5.
All right, I get this. It's Redskins by 3.5. I said 3.
3.5. I like the Redskins.
Yeah, I want them to go away too. So now I just have to think about rooting for teams to lose. So.
That was an absolutely awful loss.
Yeah, that is a kind of loss that could ruin a team, you know. But if their coach wasn't Shanahan,
that turned into one of those games where there was 7 or 8 different plays where if they just make one of the plays on any of those 7 plays, they win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow each time they couldn't do it.
Right.
The 4th and 10 to Andre Johnson was embarrassing.
God, 500 yards passing.
Yeah.
Them is bad news.
Well, then, the thing I didn't like about that game was that Kubiak got rewarded for just being a wuss in overtime.
Yeah.
With the 4th and 4, the punt that ended up being saved them 15 yards of field position. You should automatically lose when that happens.
What do we think about the timeout? I know we've talked about it. Inside 5 seconds, you shouldn't be able to call a timeout.
I hate it. Yeah. I saw House last night. We were talking about it. House said, once the field goal team comes on, nobody should be allowed to call a timeout. They should just make that the rule.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, too. I mean, no one's going to get hurt in between when the team comes out.
Give the wrong personnel out when the other team has the field goal team out, then you deserve to, have the field goal kicked on you. And if you bring the field goal team out and you can't get them out in 40 seconds to kick a football, then you deserve to not make the field goal.
Right.
So, yeah, I hate it.
Especially when it comes after another timeout by the offense to stop the clock. That didn't happen this week, but that's nauseating when that's...
It's just at some point be a man. It's like if I'm playing you in pool for $100 and you're about to make the winning 8-ball shot and I stand on the other pocket and put my face down next to the pocket as you're shooting it, that's just a wimp move.
I actually may have done that to you.
Yeah, I think you did.
I know you're just using it as an example. Philly at Jacksonville. This is an interesting game.
If you're Jacksonville, you're delighted that Kevin Cobb is starting this game, right?
Yeah. But what do you think? I know everyone fell in love with Vic, but he went against the Lions defense and Cobb went against the Packers defense. It's not really a fair sampling of their talent.
Well, and you left out, Vic came into Lambeau when it was garbage time.
Sure.
And they were, playing a vanilla defense, and he lit them up, and then he lights up the Lions. I haven't exactly seen him do it against the defense when it matters. I think this is a pick'em.
I'm so mad. I had this exactly right at +3, and then I changed it to a pick'em. So we're gonna tie here. Yeah, the Eagles are giving 3 on the road.
Wow. I don't. Jacksonville is in that group of teams that I don't know what to make of.
They're the definition of that. You have but they beat Denver. You just don't know if MJD is. He might be a bust, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Could be the first-round bust.
Seems like they can't play from behind, a little like the Steelers.
Yeah. Indy at Denver. You have to be careful here.
I do. Well, I think they've at least reestablished that the roof hadn't caved in. It's either 3 or 3.5, and I'm going to say Colts by 3.5.
All right, I said 4.5, and it's 6.
Really?
Yep.
That's confusing.
Vegas just thinks they're not going to screw around anymore. They can't win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They have to start putting a streak together at some point, right?
I mean, that's an upset pick.
You think so, huh?
I think Denver's good at home.
Oh, boy.
I think they're a good home team.
Listen, you dug yourself out nicely. You put the Colts in your top 4 in your power poll, and now you're going to say that Denver's going to upset them?
They can move the ball offensively. I think, I don't know, Champ Bailey's out, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
That's why that line's like that. I forgot. See, I deserve to lose that one.
All right. It's 8-7, your lead. I picked this one exactly, so you can only tie me here. San Diego at Seattle.
Well, I'm going to pick it exactly, too. You know why? Because it's Chargers -6.
That's pretty close, but not as close as 5.5.
Oh!
Yeah. Chargers given 5.5.
All right, we're tied.
They better not blow this. They better not blow it. By the way, that was the first time in years, we have the package. Wherever we are, we have the package. The Chargers were blacked out. We actually didn't have that game, even on DirecTV, because it was a local game.
Yeah, they're blacked out in L.A., even though San Diego is I've never gotten to San Diego in less than 2 hours. I don't know how that's a blackout.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We were stuck with only 4 games. I felt like, how dare they? What is this, Nazi Germany?
I was thinking about, if I was visiting my mom in Stanford and they blacked out the New England Patriots game because that was not a sellout, that would be equally stupid. I think once it's more than a 90-minute drive, I don't get the blackout policy.
Right. And once DirecTV starts charging more than, $1,500 for the package, I think we should get every game.
Yeah, how about that idea at DirecTV? How about, if I'm paying to get every game, show me every game. It's novel policy.
Oakland at Arizona.
Oh, boy. This is a terrible game, huh?
This is bad. But I think the Raiders are on the right track with Gronkowski and Janikowski, and there must be a Gronkowski on the team. Jaworski leading it.
I'm going to say the tail end of the Vegas zone here. Cards by 5.5.
All right, you get it. I went way high on this. I said 6.5. It's only 4.
Oh.
Vegas hates Arizona this year.
They stink. I mean, you think of it, their high-powered offense. Well, why do they have a high-powered offense? Because they had Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald, and Anquan Bolden.
Yeah.
And now 2 of those 3 people aren't there.
Yeah, and one of them's dancing. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that last night. If you're a Cards fan, aren't you watching Dancing with the Stars, hoping that he gets voted off first?
Oh, yeah, you're right. And then maybe he'll have a change of mind. Yeah.
And then you see Margaret Cho get the 15. You're like, oh, come on, Margaret. Margaret Cho in The Situation got 15s.
Yeah, well, if Kurt Warner brings his friend Jesus into this, he's lasting at least 7 weeks, I think.
I was at a bar called Tortoise and the Hare last night. It's in Crystal City, Virginia. And House's friend Monty owns it. And we made him, he had a bunch of TVs, and we were watching the Monday Night Football game, but we made him on one of the TVs put Dancing with the Stars on.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to see The Situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'd ever really fully watched that show before.
Really? Even when Corolla was on and everything?
I would TiVo it and just zoom through to his things. I never physically had just seen how the show breaks down over the course of 2 hours.
Oh, it's delightful.
It's for reality TV, not awful.
No, they put a nice product on TV. They package it pretty well, and I think it's a good year. I can't believe we're going to talk about this, but I like the Hoff, The Situation, Bristol Palin.
Yeah, so they did a nice job. It seems like Brandy's the clear favorite, though, right?
She is a clear favorite. And
let me ask you, can I put in a bet with you that Rick Fox is going to dump Elijah Dushku for his partner within the next 6 weeks?
It's off the board. What
do you have to them hook it up?
He'll probably get to the judges as well.
You can't spend 12 hours a day with your partner and not either hook up with them or be in love with them.
No.
Yeah.
You're right. I like that.
Fortunately for Corolla, his partner was a virgin, or else his marriage would have been over.
She was 16 and a virgin.
She's a 16-year-old virgin.
I have my money on Jennifer Grey, who doesn't look anything like the Jennifer Grey. Did you see what she did last night?
The sound was off, but we saw her crying.
Well, she was dancing, and then all of a sudden she's like, I can't take this anymore, and she ran out, and she's like, it brings me back to a place of just reminded me of me and Patrick. Meanwhile, when he died, they asked her, have you talked to him? She's like, oh, just, very sporadically over the last 20 years.
Oh, so she played the Swayze card for sympathy. That's pretty interesting.
And I was like, wait, use that card in week 8 when you're in the bottom 2 or 3. Don't use it now. You're going to get votes now.
Do you like her? Did you like her with the old nose or the new nose?
I like the old nose.
I did too.
She doesn't look anything like what she used to.
House was all in on the new nose.
Yeah?
He thought she looked hot. I can't believe she's 50.
Oh, no. I like her. Especially with Ferris Bueller when she's sitting there. It's adorable.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So we're tied at 8.
I think you're up. You're up 9-8.
Oh, I'm up 1. Okay.
Yeah, and we have 2 games left. The Sunday night game, Jets at Miami.
and I'm going to hit this exactly.
Yeah.
Dolphins by 3.
Ooh, we are tied again. It's Dolphins by 1.5. I said 2.5.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yep.
The Sanchez on the road?
This is good. I'm actually looking forward to this game. Please let it be good.
All right. Well, I know I'm going to hit the last one exactly.
I think you are. I'm off. Well, I shouldn't actually say anything.
All right, don't say anything.
Green Bay at Chicago.
I have the Packers by 3.5.
The line is 3, and I said Green Bay by 4.5. You get it. Green Bay by 3.
I'm up 2-1 for the season. So the line is 3.
I can't believe you won again. Yeah.
Well, we got some very fun suggestions from the listeners for the bet that we should have this year. I still have to hit you with a Subway sub for last year's win.
Mm-hmm.
The most intriguing so far was that the loser has to buy WNBA tickets and actually go to the games.
I like that. I like that a lot.
We got to figure out how many games there are, because if there's more than like 6, I don't think we should do it.
Oh, if we go to all the games? Oh, for God's sake, really?
How much would courtside seats cost? We should maybe do that anyway.
They're not free, those seats? I can't believe it.
It's a good point. Maybe they are.
I like that bet a lot more before I lost this week. But, yeah, keep them coming. We'll
I like WNBA. I think we're heading toward a good place with some sort of WNBA payoff.
Yeah.
Maybe having to wear a jersey in public for football every week.
Yeah. I like
next year.
You have to I pick a guest for your podcast for 5 minutes. I'll give you a choice of 7 if I lose, and then I don't know what you would I don't know. You could look out for me.
That sounds terrible. I don't want to do that bet.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
All right, you have anything to plug?
By the way, yeah, I want to plug. I thought maybe you'd bring it up, but 13-2-1 last week against the spread. By far, by like 6 games, that's my best week ever, I think. And
was one of the ones you got wrong, the Dallas Cowboys?
No, I had the Bears +7. That was easy.
Smart by you.
I actually took Cincinnati over Baltimore and the Jets over the Pats, thinking, well, one of those will win, and they both did, so that was big. But
13-2-1 is very, very impressive.
That's tough to beat, right? I should just quit now. I'm never, ever going to beat that or come close, probably.
I went 7-2 in the early games and was feeling great, and then the wheels just came off, culminating with somehow not covering that Saints game. I think I went 8-7-1. Not great.
Yeah.
In my Vegas, in the Super Contest, I went 3-2.
You love that. I want to do that next year.
I'm 6-3-1 after 2 weeks. Not terrible.
No, that's good.
Respectable.
This league's impossible. There's no way. You look foolish trying to handicap some of these teams.
Well, I broke my own rule. Before the year, I was like, all right, whatever I do, I'm not making the Patriots one of my 5 picks. And then after week 1, I'm like, Patriots!
You love them.
They got it and put the Super Bowl bet in.
On Sunday. All right, Jimmy Kimmel, let me plug this. The cast of Modern Family's on tonight. Zach Galifianakis later in the week. Jeremy Renner from The Town. He was the best thing in that movie, I thought.
He was great.
Snooki Thursday night and Joaquin Phoenix Friday. I'm going to try to make out with Snooki, I think.
At least try to give her like a full body hug.
Yeah. Something. All right, listen, I went 13-2-1. She's got to give it up.
Give it up for you. All right, Cousin Sal. Talk to you next week.
Good job, Belly.
All right, take care. All right, that's going to be the last BS report for this week, unfortunately, because I am hosting Pardon the Interruption for the next 4 days, and you don't want to hear me do podcasts on a hotel phone. The good news is that Pardon the Interruption is available by podcast. So you can check that out, the Pardon the Interruption podcast on iTunes, or we have them on ESPN.com, and you can get 22-minute fixes of my nasally, high-pitched voice for the next 4 days. Wish me luck. I hope I don't go down. Joe B, do I go down in flames this week? What do you think?
I don't know. Who are you up against?
It's me and Kornheiser.
Oh, okay. It's quite a battle. I don't know if you can handle it.
Well, I figured, like, for pop culture references, I just go Mad Men the entire time, and I ingratiate myself to him that way, right?
I think it's probably a good move.
Yeah, that should work. It's going to be hard, though. It's not an easy show. Like, you got to read the teleprompter. You got to, like, listen to the bell and switch topics, and I think it's going to take a couple days. I just hope I don't want to be. I'd settle for mediocrity. If you ask me mediocrity right now, I'd take it. I don't want to be the Bills. I want to be like the Jaguars. Bills is the worst case scenario. Anyway, so the BS report will come back next Monday with Cousin Sal. Check out PTI. Until next week.
until I get the sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the B.S Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
This concludes another installment of the B.S Report. And with all the talk about sports, Bill Simmons neglected to mention this very important final thought. Eat bold with Subway fiery footlong subs. So hot they'll burn the wimp right out of you. Like the intensely delicious new turkey jalapeno melt. A fiery twist on a legendary flavor with bubbly Monterey cheddar and spicy chipotle Southwest sauce. And the backed by popular demand buffalo chicken fiery footlong sub with fire grilled chicken smothered in smoking red hot sauce. Subway fiery footlong subs. They're boldest yet. Subway. Eat fresh.